Djordje, obviously there's going to be some personnel moves in the off-season that we'll find out about, but given the way the season ended with this team, how optimistic are you for next season?
Very, very. I think even before I came, there was a very good foundation, a pretty good culture when I joined, and consistency in the way we train and the philosophy that the coaches are implementing in us, and a good off season and a strong preseason, and building off of especially this last game is what we want to do.
Did you see developments in the culture? Robin talked about the final game, how proud he was of the players pulling together and working for each other. Did you see a growth in that in your time with this team?
100%. It's very easy to go into the decision day game with not making playoffs to kind of blow it away, and like I said after the game, there was no need to really motivate the group. They understood that we have to leave the whole season on a strong note, for the fans, for us in the locker room. It's gonna be 3 months until we play again, and it's very important for us to end the way we did.
Djordje, it was a small sample size because I think it was only about 10 games that you played. But how did you fit into the way that Robin played? Who wants to play this style, and are you comfortable sort of in that style that he wants to play?
Yeah, naturally it's going to take a few games, essentially a full preseason to understand a new formation, new ideas. My style of play is a pretty flexible one, and wherever the team suits me, I'm going to do my best. I think given in my career I played a few different positions and I can understand different roles pretty well, so it was pretty easy after a few games to really understand my teammates, their tendencies, what the coaches are asking, and also for them to understand me as a player. And I think, 10 games, the first 3 or 4, just getting my legs under me. But once you have consistent training and with the players and the coaches, you're just naturally going to feel more welcome and involved in things.
How did you find playing on a team with Jonathan Osorio, and what did you played under several captains during your career, both internationally and club level. How do you find him as a captain?
Very good. Very good. Him and I are actually quite similar in terms of the emotional input that he puts into trainings and games, and if we can get more players like that with that mentality, it's only going to help the team better. And winning teams, they have 4 or 5 players that have this fiery mentality that get on you, and you need that. And of course, in the moment, you're going to get back at them, but at the end of training, you shake hands. But 4 or 5 players with this mentality is good for a locker room.
You seem very flexible where you could play on the pitch. If you had your choice, where would you like to play?
Number 10.
Just a quick one. As that season was ebbing to conclusion, what were the internal conversations like with you guys in terms of keeping that spirit, keeping those levels high so that the season wasn't blown out?
There was a lot, because 8 draws in a row really does something to a player's mind, but I think it's kind of reinstating that in those 8 draws, we let in 1 goal away in Philly, who won the Supporter Shield. We go away to Columbus, let in 1 goal, and also we let in goals in the first 5 minutes and come back and to tie those games against those tough teams. So we don't get the full 3 points, but there's so many positives in those moments that if you take a step back and reflect, then you see there's a lot of positives and good that's happening. And like I was saying, with going into decision day with nothing to play for, we're all professionals. We all understand our role in the team, and know that finishing strong and giving our all every training, every game, even though we don't have playoffs ahead of us, that it's important for us to do this no matter what.
And just quickly as a follow-up, you coming in seeing quite a lot of young players being given opportunities to go out there, express themselves, get those minutes under their belt. Someone who knows the league very, very well. How important is that for those players' developments, and particularly this club for building a future as well?
That's so important, and you see it around the league and around the world that teams are getting younger and younger. It's important for a club to have a certain culture, certain philosophy, solid play that's kind of through the whole club, and with the second team, the same ideas are being built there. So those players have an easier time to come into the first team, and through my time here, and those few months, there's been many of those second team players coming in and not looking out of place. So that's good. And yeah, hopefully you need with the winning team and a team that's competing for every trophy possible, you need the depth. And there's not going to be one starting 11 that's going to play 50 games in the year. So you need those players to have the confidence from the coach, from his teammates, that he can do the job when needed.
You seem comfortable on the field. You seem comfortable explaining the game. Where about in your career you get to be a student of the game with your own coaches? You seem very comfortable.
I was kind of raised since I was little from a coach. My dad was a coach and a player, and we were always watching games, talking the game. And as you play a career, I've seen so many different environments now. I think this is my 5th club, something like that. It's different ideas, different countries. You learn the game just from experiencing it, and I just kind of communicate what I see.
Jason has talked about the need to bring in, a designated player at the number 9 spot. Obviously, the team's sort of scoring woes are well documented this year. What do you think bringing in such a player of a DP caliber would mean for you in terms of maybe bringing out, not that you weren't creative this year, you were, but what would you think it would mean for you in terms of your having an even bigger impact at this club?
Yeah, I mean, my job is to create for myself, create for others. You look at, I feel like in MLS it's a league of the DPs. You only have 3 of them, or 2, however you want to build the roster, but you have to make sure you get them right. I look back at the best years of Toronto with Giovinco and Altidore, and then Giovinco, I think it was Pozuelo after. Was at the same time. So, yeah, Michael, of course. But like in terms of a 10, having a certain 9 that you can just relate to on the field, it's going to make everything better in the attack.
Have you had a chance to pick Giovinco's brain?
Of course, especially on the free kicks.
Seems to be working.
Yeah.
Djordje, when you arrived, you spoke about the city, the club, the faces that you saw in that locker room. What have you learned over the past couple of months, and has it been everything?
What's the first part?
When you arrived, you spoke about the city and the club and the other guys in the locker room and what you saw there. What have you learned over these past 2 months about that, and has it been what you expected?
Well, first off, the fans. It's very easy for the fans to kind of brush away coming to the game, supporting the team, and for the recent history of the club. But seeing the nearly sold out stadiums, 20,000 people regularly I think it was only 4 home games that I had, but seeing that many fans coming to support, even though the team might not be at the best, is something good. And it kind of showed exactly what I kind of knew already about Toronto sports. And you see yesterday, of course, the Blue Jays, so that's pretty cool. In terms of the culture, I knew Toronto, it was a big club just from the start of my MLS career, but immediately when I walked into the training ground, the stadium, it has a big club feel. And the way the club operates with the players and relates to the fans, it's what you want from a club.
Before we talked to you, Alonso came out, and he's someone who logged a lot of time this year and still a player in his mid-20s who's still developing. I'd be interested to hear your take on him. What did you see in him in the Spaniard?
Typical Spanish holding midfielder. Yeah, very calm, technical, can pick out any pass. His technique is very good. That's kind of what you want from a holding midfielder, to have that, almost to be the calmest person on the field with the ball. He makes everybody better because he plays so simple, and sometimes playing simple is the hardest thing, and he does it very easy. So I enjoy playing with him.
Sorry, James. Another player that's been getting a lot of attention recently is Richie. Just wondering your comments on him, his flexibility, his adaptability. Obviously, a lot of focus on him for his performances with the national team. Just what's it been like to be around him?
Well, I knew he was good, but not as good as I've seen now. His ability to play any position on the field and look like he's done it his whole life is pretty good. That's awesome. I think, like I said about also his mentality is very good. He trains. He's never satisfied with results, and it's very easy to feel that energy and feed off that energy for yourself. And like I kind of said about Aloe, and he makes it so easy to play with too. And I think it's very clear why now he's with Canada and getting Jesse Marsh struggles for that starting left back. You know, he's an incredible player and incredible person too. We get along very well.
Djordje, the off-season awaits, but what does the work ahead look like for this group?
I think enjoy a few weeks off, enjoy rest of the mind. I generally think that you should be very optimistic if you're in the locker room. There's a lot of good happening just in the city, sports. I think there's a very good base here and a lot to just build off of.